As Sally said, I'm Samantha Mayberry. I'm from the National Osteoporosis Foundation down in Washington, D.C. I'm just going to talk a little bit about what the National Osteoporosis Foundation, or NOF, what we work on a daily basis, some of the resources that we have that might help you out, and then a couple of ways that you all can help us as well. So NOF basically deals in 3 different areas. The first one is working with patients and consumers. We have a number of education initiatives, awareness initiatives, integrating them into our work. That's kind of bucket number 1. Bucket number 2, we work with healthcare professionals. You heard a little bit about this already from Sally and BoneFit, Kavita. We also have a number of education initiatives for doctors, for nurse practitioners, for physical therapists, things like our ISO conference that Sally mentioned earlier. We are working to expand the BoneFit training that we did to more physical therapists across the US because the nation doesn't have great programs like Project Healthy Bones, so we're trying to increase education around osteoporosis exercise and activities around the US. So things like that, those are some of our professional initiatives. Then we also have several projects that are focused around policy. So something that in 2019 we've been really focused on is trying to make bone health as big of a national priority as a number of other health initiatives in the US. I think everyone in the US is pretty aware of heart health, of brain health, and not so much of bone health, and we're trying to change that, especially in the eyes of policymakers and different agencies, government agencies. So we've been doing a lot of work there. So I'm gonna go into a little bit of detail, kind of in that first bucket I mentioned. So all of my work at NOF is with patients and the general public to try and put together education materials, keep those updated, get those out into the world, raise awareness in that group. And I have a couple things that I think might be helpful to you all, either in your work at Project Healthy Bones or just kind of on a day-to-day basis. And some of this information is on a handout that's in your packet, so you don't have to remember all the details. But NOF works really hard to put together publications, brochures, different visuals, with all kinds of different information related to osteoporosis. So for example, we have a 100-page brochure called Boning Up that has comprehensive information, all you can need to know about osteoporosis. We have a new publication with all of the latest information about FDA-approved medications, and it goes into all the nitty-gritty details that Sally was mentioning. So it makes it a little easier than having to go to the FDA's website and find the medication. We put all that information together in one brochure. We have a brochure on calcium, vitamin D, and other nutrition. We have some safe movement information. So all of these publications we have online, available at any time. People can also reach out to me. I actually mail out these publications to people every day. So people can reach out to me and let me know that they would want a printed version of this. My contact information is on that handout as well, so you can feel free to do that. The electronic versions are all available in what is called our resource library, and I have the link to that resource library there on the page. So I hope that some of those might be helpful for you. We also do have an online store where people can purchase these brochures. That mostly is for things like health fairs where you would need a lot of these materials, or for doctors who want to keep them in their waiting room, something like that. But just so you know, we do have that available as well. Another resource that is pretty new this year, we have been trying to collect some stories from different people and getting a better understanding of what it's like to be experiencing osteoporosis. And we've been sharing these stories via a podcast and a blog. And some of these stories may be relatable to you or people in your community. So I encourage you to check them out. The information about the podcast and the blog is on the handout as well. So a couple of ways that you can help me at NOF. While we are primarily here to help people in the osteoporosis community, we also need to get feedback from people in the community so that our resources are actually going to be helpful for patients or professionals. So we are always looking for ways to engage with people like you. A couple of ways that we do that, we have something that's called an Ambassadors Leadership Council. If you would like to be listed on our website, get some kind of insider information from NOF, you can become an ambassador. Basically, I send out a newsletter every other month, and it includes some extra details about the work that we do. It gives you a little bit of insider information to help support your work, but also I ask people to send me different things that they've been doing that have been really helpful so that I can share those with everyone else. That way people aren't reinventing the wheel with their different activities and projects that they have going on. Another way that you can help me is we started this year something called the Healthy Bones Build Them for Life Patient Registry. And a patient registry is basically just a fancy way of saying, a way of surveying people. So we put together this registry, sends out surveys to patients so that we can get some data on osteoporosis, what people are actually doing in their real life. Once we get that data back, I can then use it to say, oh, people don't understand this. We need materials about this. Let's ask our experts these questions and create materials for people. So I encourage you to participate. It's completely anonymous, safe. So the information on that's on the handout as well. I encourage you to participate, and anyone you may know, that would be really helpful for me. And then lastly, as I mentioned, we're doing a number of projects to try and elevate osteoporosis and bone health on the national agenda, government agenda. And one major thing that we're working on is trying to increase reimbursement rates for DEXA tests. So we're having this struggle in healthcare where reimbursement rates are actually falling for DEXA testing, and it's decreasing access to bone density testing, which has been really problematic on a national scale. So we have a couple of bills in Congress right now, one in the House, one in the Senate, that we're trying to get passed this year. And the best way to get something passed on the Hill is if representatives hear from people in their local district. And on our website, you can find a way to just kind of type in your name and hit send and contact your representative. So that would be really, really helpful for us as well.